So troops is arriving at the border. Let's spend 10 minutes talking about this. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
KTSM and NBC News the first on the scene as 3 large military planes landed at Biggs Army Airfield just before 4 p.m. this afternoon. Fort Bliss confirming to NBC that those planes carrying U.S. troops are part of the deployment announced yesterday by the Pentagon that will be sent to our southern border. This as the department scrambles to put in motion President Donald Trump's executive order demanding an immediate crackdown on illegal immigration. Thank you for choosing KTSM 9 News at 10. I'm Andy Morgan.
And I'm Tirza Ortiz in for Monica Cortez. The deployment is included in not one but dozens of executive orders that President Trump signed moments after his swearing-in ceremony. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo has been covering the story all day. She has our top story at 10.
The first batch of U.S. troops sent to secure the southern border have officially landed at Biggs Army Airfield. On Wednesday, the Pentagon announced that about 1,500 troops were being sent out to the border this week. It's the latest effort from the Trump administration to crack down on illegal immigration. The deployment includes 1,000 Army soldiers from a variety of units and 500 Marines. U.S. officials said they expect additional troops to be ordered to deploy in the next few days as defense and homeland security leaders request more support.
American people have been waiting for such a time as this for our Department of Defense to actually take homeland security seriously. This is a #1 priority of the American people, and the president is already delivering.
It is important to note that when asked about the additional troops during a press conference on Wednesday, El Paso Mayor Renard Johnson said the measure is unnecessary. Now, this is, of course, a developing story, and we will be sure to keep you updated on air and online.
Shout out to our troops. Actually, see, this is why we say thank you for our service. We need to be saying thank you for your service, for the service not only that they're doing for the military, but the service that they're doing inside of the United States of America. We need all our troops here. We need all of our troops here. We don't need no troop serving nobody else except for what happens inside of the United States of America. Can y'all do y'all realize that it's what, day 4, day 5? Day 4, day 5 into the new administration, and we already got troops at the border. The Biden administration was suing Texas to leave their borders open. The Biden administration was suing Texas to leave their borders open. And on day 5 inside of the White House, we already got troops arriving at the border to make sure that ain't nobody coming over here illegally. No more.
New images coming into CNN shedding light on the speed of President Trump implementing his immigration agenda. The White House has just...
Eric said they're going to need more troops for this. Oh, don't worry. They said we're going to have more than 10,000 at the border soon. 1,500 is just the first wave. It's just the first wave, Eric. We're going to get there.
At least these images, migrants lined up.
Y'all, listen. Y'all don't get... this is the images of the migrants that's being deported. You don't get to fly Emirates Air anymore. You don't get Delta. You don't get Alaskan. You don't get American Airlines. You don't get Spirit. You don't get Frontier. You don't get Southwest. You don't get nothing. You get the back of a cargo plane. You lucky we not dropping you off midair like a care package. You lucky we not just throwing a parachute on you and dropping you off midair like a care package. You get cargo treatment where it ain't no air conditioning. You get the temperature that everybody else get. Bundle up, buckle up, Buttercup. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. We not stopping at no airports. We dropping everybody off with a parachute. Make sure yours work. Cargo plane time.
Cuffed and led onto a military aircraft. We should note CNN cannot independently confirm the details because our crews were not there on the ground when these images were being captured. CNN White House correspondent Priscilla Alvarez is here to talk about this. Priscilla, what are we learning about these flights? And we should note, we were just showing this a few moments ago, those images were tweeted out or posted by the White House press secretary. So this is coming from the White House.
That's right. This is part of their show of force after the president signed his executive order declaring a national emergency at the U.S. southern border. Now, if we can bring the
No
photos
meals
up
served.
again, because
No
I do want
meals.
to point out what's different here. It is the use of military aircraft that marks a difference from the way this was handled before. Now, you see there a line of migrants. They are arrested as they are handcuffed as they are boarding the plane. That part of this is actually quite typical when it comes to immigration and customs enforcement and the way that they would board one of their deportation flights. But again, what is notable in this image is of that military aircraft. Now, I am getting some details from a Homeland Security official who tells me that it was about 75 to 80 migrants from Guatemala, and they were bound for Guatemala. We are now getting updates from an organization on the ground in Guatemala that is putting out stills of these arrivals. So this story is quickly developing. But in addition to that, we also know they were recent border crossers. So they were in Border Patrol custody and they were in the El Paso sector. Now, the Pentagon has said that they were sending this military aircraft to El Paso and to San Diego. So we'll see if more of these flights continue. But Jim, just to broaden this out a little bit, the situation at the U.S. southern border is relatively quiet, far more than it was even over the last several months. So about 1,100 to 1,300 people crossing a day versus the 4,000, 6,000 and up that we were seeing in recent years. So this is an effort to really clamp down on the U.S. southern border, even as border crossings where they are right now are lower than they were in recent years.
Interesting. All right, Priscilla, stay with me. I want to bring in CNN contributor.
We need more dogs too. German Shepherds, Rottweilers, whatever dogs that we need that can help catch people at the border. That's what we need at the border. We need more animals patrolling the border. We need more horsemen. We need swordsmen. We need troops. We need military. I heard the Trump administration actually gave all agencies, police officers, sheriffs, they gave them the ability to act like ICE and border agents. You see an illegal, somebody that crossed over into this country that's not supposed to be here, you can round them up. Now, we know that all of these blue cities are not going to do this. We know that they're not going to support pit bulls. Yes, we need pit bulls. All of them, huskies, pit bulls, African dogs. Have y'all seen African dogs? African dogs are some of the most efficient hunters on the face of this planet, outside of orcas and whales. African dolphins, African dogs eat you while you alive. If y'all have never seen one of these National Geographic documentaries or go on YouTube and type in African dogs, listen, you'd rather get caught by a pack of lions than by African dogs. We need African dogs at the border. You'd be better off getting into a cage with a Bengal tiger than a pack of African dogs. They don't kill you. They eat you alive. While you're there, they don't mess around. They not waiting. They eat you from your butt first because that's where all of the meat is. That's the truth. I'm telling you. They start off on the butt, in the gut. They don't snap your neck and then leave you dead and then take you into a tree and none of that stuff. They don't do none of that. They don't crush your skull. They just start eating you from the butt first. Y'all ain't never seen African dogs? Y'all want me to show y'all some African dogs? I can show you some African dogs if you want to.
And New York Times journalist Lulu Garcia Navarro. Lulu, good to see you. Your reaction to seeing these photos from the White House?
I'm telling y'all the truth. Y'all laughing. No, lions are more African dogs are the most vicious creatures on the face of the earth. There is no more creature, no land animal is more vicious outside of a woman that is bitter from a divorce than an African dog. That is a fact.
They say that our military planes deployed for these deportations. And I guess one of the things that we should talk about, shouldn't the White House or the administration be giving some kind of
Y'all want me to pull up the
access to
African
independent
dogs?
journalists
I can pull them up.
so we can witness this firsthand as opposed to getting these takeouts from the White House?
I mean, I think press access for this is going to be very important. But I think we also need to really try and get context and understand what is happening and what is different than what we are seeing before. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, came out with a statement that said that they had arrested 538 people yesterday. And that is about double what we have seen previously. So indeed, we are now seeing stepped up enforcement. There has been some allegations that they are going into private places and not using warrants. That is illegal. So again, is that different? What are we seeing that is actually different? And that's going to be the thing that's going to tell us if this is actually effective, who they're targeting, and where are they targeting people. One of the concerns about this is that they're really going to be targeting people in blue cities and blue states. That is different than what we saw during the first Trump administration, where they were doing raids in North Dakota and red states and rural areas. This seems to be targeted in places that are blue states. So what does that tell us? Does that tell us that this is politically motivated, that they're trying to instill fear in immigrant communities in blue areas as opposed to red areas? You know, all of these things, as we're looking at this enforcement operation, we have to really think about what it means and what is the administration actually trying to achieve.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about what took place in Newark,
Got to show
New
you an
Jersey in just
African
a few
dog.
moments. But Lulu, I do want to ask you, the president has ordered the Pentagon to surge 1,500 active military troops to the southern border. We're also seeing these new images.
Now, let me preface this part of the show. I'm going to give y'all 10 seconds and tell y'all that if you have a weak stomach, this is normal stuff. YouTube, I look at the hunting strategies of a lot of different animals. If you have a weak stomach, you don't want to look at this part. I'm going to just show it for 2 minutes, and I'm going to show y'all how vicious and how effective African dogs are. I'm going to bring y'all up to speed. These are what African dogs hunt like, okay? This is what they look like. Oh, look at that nice furry animal. He has a white tail. They have spots all over them. They look chill. Look how nice they are. Worse than any pit bull you ever seen in your entire life. Look at them. They look like deer bras. You're right, Frontline. They look like deer bras. They look like it. Look, it's not it's an African dog. This is what they look like, okay? Y'all all say y'all want to go back to the motherland and live in the bush. This is what you got to look forward to. This is how they hunt. Alive. They don't mess around. See the newborn baby right there on the ground? They'll come back for that one. Oh my God. In 20 minutes, that thing is going to be bones. In 20 minutes, those will be bones. They don't mess around. It's a tough world out here. And no, y'all wanted to go back to hunter-gatherer stage, didn't y'all? And then went and picked up hey, you see it went and picked up the baby? Hold on, look. They went and picked up the baby right after that. Check it out. They don't mess around. This is what we need at the border. Okay?
Of military support away from the border. These are from Camp Pendleton in California. These are from New Mexico, some other images we can show you. And we're now learning that more soldiers are preparing for possible deployment to the border. And so, I mean, Lulu, this is something that, is a bit of a departure from what we've seen in the past, and that this is a very militarized looking deportation operation, mass deportation operation. What do you think?
Maybe the Friday shows need to be pared back to like the Monday through the Thursday shows.
I mean, this is very unusual. This is not the purview of the United States military. They don't have the training for it. But this is what the Trump administration is doing to try and bolster their capacity to deport people, because they haven't gotten more money from Congress for this. They don't have more ICE agents. And so they're trying to pull in other agencies to get involved in this deportation operation. But this is where I think the Trump administration has to be careful, because recent polling shows that there's overwhelming support for deportation of illegal immigrants, immigrants that are here that don't have documentation. There is overwhelming support for deporting immigrants who have.
I'm amazed
at
the difference that y'all don't know the difference between a hyena and a wild dog.
For using the U.S. military. 62% of Americans oppose separating families, something that the administration says that they're going to do. 59% are against using the U.S. military. And so, this is not popular with the American people. So they have to be careful.
Meanwhile, we over here being super sensitive because we in our feelings about female rights. And y'all gonna get used to it. Don't worry about it. You'll get used to it. You'll adjust to it. You'll make sure that life is good. Life is gonna be better. We're gonna drag y'all along. We're gonna remove the criminals from this earth. We're gonna get back to life, and life is gonna be good.